It wasn't a coincidence that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta met Raila Amolo Odinga and Martha Karua at the AKORINO Celebration Center. A lot of people had dismissed Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and said that he wasn't going to come out outright to campaign for Raila Amolo Odinga anymore, especially in Mount Kenya. But in our view, that is out of character for Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. What was the event at the AKORINO Celebration Center yesterday meant to achieve? If you're watching this channel for the first time, kindly consider subscribing to the channel. If you like any one of our videos, we will really and highly appreciate if you like the videos on YouTube.
Atwa mwathani muriega oriki ni ndakena ni undu wa gwitikirio ndimugeithie na tondu na president ndarigwa gigicugu gikiarua na Kenya medikiarie ni ndakena ni gwitikirio ndimukethie tugukite ona ithwe kugoca twina muthuri uyu twikaranitie nake aba uyu randuire running mate na ni twakena ni twaruga tweganira no nani thabarine yakwa ya siasa tukinyete ni inyue ikinya gwekinya riri tirita ria mbere na ndamwira oguo ndona mugikenanira na murwa meitu president ona ithu no gutugutwarana ni inyue na
Good afternoon to you viewers. I hope you're fine wherever you are. Welcome to Talk to Africa. My name is George. It is quite obvious that this event was not a coincidence and it was planned and made to achieve certain objectives. Could it be that this event was meant to dispel a lot of people's thinking about the lame duck theory? You know, was Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta answering to the critics, his critics, regarding the issue of campaigning for Raila Amolo Odinga? Why is it that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta was there in a very measured way, however, campaigning still for Raila Amolo Odinga? Before we go into that, you'll note that there is quite a lot of discontent in Kenya Kwanza, and Moses Kuria has come out clearly and is talking to the press, unlike Moses Kuria. And where you have Moses Kuria talking, then you know there's Kabogo there, then you know there's I think it's called Kihunjiri there, then you know there are many more people that Moses Kuria is talking for. And actually on the other hand, Moses Kuria is actually complaining to the top of the ticket, the Kenya Kwanza ticket, that things are not going on so well. You know, I would not dismiss the fact that there is a probability, a huge probability, that Central Kenya is obviously not going the way it was. The game plan has changed from at least Azimio's side. Right now, people are more focused on actually adding more numbers than asking if Mount Kenya will actually vote for Raila Amolo Odinga or actually William Samoei Ruto. As you know, William Samoei Ruto too has actually slowed down in his campaign in Central Kenya and has resorted to insults. You know, instead of actually campaigning the way he was with a lot of confidence, William Samoei Ruto is actually a deflated politician and is more or less kind of giving up on Mount Kenya and relying on Rigathi Gachagua to handle Mount Kenya. Well, that's my observation. But that is not the topic of our discussion today. what was the AKORINO Celebration Center meeting or event meant to achieve. Quite a number of people had actually talked about Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta as being a lame duck, and he's basically not able to make any decisions. This we dispelled earlier on and said that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, with his vigor and age, cannot be a lame duck. And that is one of the fundamental mistakes that Kenya Kwanza and William Samoei Ruto made, thinking that they will dispel or actually begin to dismiss Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to go back to Gatundu because he's a lame duck, and William Samoei Ruto thought that he was going to capture, Mount Kenya based on the lame duck theory. That is really not the case. So was Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta trying to dispel these critics by telling them, hey guys, lame duck, not me. However, if you looked at the meeting, that AKORINO meeting, there was some kind of constraint that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta had. And that constraint in itself affects the manner in which Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta moving forward will actually display or campaign for Raila Amolo Odinga. What do I mean by constraint? I mean, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta actually did not come out clearly to campaign for Raila Amolo Odinga and rammed up support the way he did initially. You remember when basically he was trying to actually talk about Raila Amolo Odinga and talking about the opponents, which is Kenya Kwanza. There must be some reasons or some strings or some things that have actually constrained Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta lately, and even if he surfaces to campaign for Raila Amolo Odinga, it will be in a measured way, the way we saw at the AKORINO Celebration Center. So that got us thinking and working and wondering, what is it exactly that could have constrained Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta from campaigning for Raila Amolo Odinga outright? That can happen because of a number of reasons. Number one, I think Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Azimio and the entire Raila Amolo Odinga team are looking at the issues of litigation, or are looking at the issues where after this election, obviously, there will be a number of people out there in courts, especially the Supreme Court, because it's a presidential election, actually challenging the election of Raila Amolo Odinga. That irrespective, that I can tell you for sure. And if you have it in the form of money, you can take it to the bank and the bank will accept it. So there could be a possibility that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is measured because he doesn't want to expose Azimio and the Azimio team, by and large, to actually court cases after the elections. The other thing is that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta probably is seeing no reason of going outright there to campaign for Raila Odinga, because it would appear that Raila Amolo Odinga is home and dry. But I don't think so, because I'm sure they would like to ensure that everything is sealed, signed, and delivered. And there's a possibility, though, that, the observers or foreign governments or, could basically have said something or whispered something in the ears of government, and that could have affected Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta from actually campaigning for Raila Amolo Odinga openly. There's no doubt about that. So legal implication, maybe observers and the donor community or European Union, America, and the rest of the people who have a lot of stake and interest in Kenya. However, there's also a possibility that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta could have strategically paused campaigning for Raila Amolo Odinga because he's waiting to see towards the tail end of this campaign so that, they could evaluate and see if he is going to actually come out and campaign for Raila Amolo Odinga, especially in Mount Kenya. That is a possibility. The other factor too is the Martha Karua factor. And Martha Karua has actually shell-shocked Kenya Kwanza and William Samoei Ruto. So the fact that Martha Karua is doing pretty well, and the fact that Martha Karua is delivering in central Kenya, could also be one of those things that, is being considered, or Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga are considering, and they are not going outright to campaign, or flat out the beginning, Mount Kenya is changing basically. So that also could be a factor. But Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is not only a Mount Kenya person. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta has actually a national following. And in fact, initially, had things gone the way they did, I would have expected Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to go outright countrywide to campaign for Raila Amolo Odinga. So there are these things here and there that basically could constrain Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta from actually campaigning for Raila Amolo Odinga outright, although that is not in his character. I can assure you, if it means campaigning outright for Raila Amolo Odinga, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta will do that. Like I said, it's completely out of character for Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to change tunes or retract or actually get 100% constrained by these issues that we've talked about. So, what was the meeting at the AKORINO Celebration Center meant to achieve? Certainly, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta wanted to assert his position, and he wanted to show everybody and Kenya Kwanza that he is still for Raila Amolo Odinga, and he's not changing his mind. That I can tell you for sure. The other reason is that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta actually has been like clockwork attending the AKORINO function, especially during the campaign season. Watch Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. He's been to Ngara grounds where the AKORINO faith actually started congregating sometimes back in Nairobi. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta actually supports the AKORINO movement, and you saw exactly what he did yesterday, which I basically translated to you what the part I could, especially the part that Martha Karua said, and what Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta said. It is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's conviction in the AKORINO faith. In as much as Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is a Catholic, I think he owes it to probably the founder of this nation, Jomo Kenyatta, because Jomo Kenyatta was known to actually be more inclined towards the AKORINO faith. So it could have achieved two things. Number one, it told Kenya Kwanza and the rest of the opposition that Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta would not shy off from campaigning for Raila Amolo Odinga, and he did. Secondly, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta too uses the AKORINO ground where he has a lot of support to actually marshal support. And this time round, he used the AKORINO Celebration Center meeting to campaign in his own way for Raila Amolo Odinga. What do you think? Do you think it was a coincidence? Was it meant to achieve what? Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to Talk to Africa. My name is George.